Welcome back to Baking It Easy. Today, we are in Paris. No, we're not. We're on a set. Also, that light outside is not the sun. Have you ever tried to make cream puffs and they turned out like this? Today, I'm gonna show you how to make French pastries that turn out like this. This is Baking It Easy. Allons-y. Allons-y. Let us begin. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make French pastry using choux dough. Choux is a dough that's used to make cream puffs, eclairs, and other French pastries. So for our dough, I'm going to start by turning the stove on. Fire. Be careful with fire, kids and adults. Fire's really scary. I was actually thinking about how scary fire was today. That got dark. Okay, we're gonna go in like a medium. That's medium. And in there, we are going to start by melting our butter. And with that, also water. Sounds like I peed. And then our sugar and our salt. And we just wait for this to melt. It's like watching paint dry, except it's butter and water. Just keep melting, just keep melting. Now I'm gonna turn my heat up to high so it boils. We're waiting for a rippin' roarin' boil, like White Rapids. Never actually been on White Rapids, but I assume they look scary. I feel like this is a rippin' roarin' good time in this bowl right here. Yeah, you look cool. Now that we are boiling, I'm going to turn the heat off and I'm going to add my flour, vigorously stirring, because we're gonna cook the flour out. I don't actually know why it's vigorous. I just know you're supposed to like kind of make the dough your bitch and like push it around, show it who's boss. It's like you are the captain now of your dough. It's really tiring, honestly. We're just gonna keep cooking a little bit more until we don't see any little more white spots. Kind of looks like Play-Doh, kind of looks like it'd be fun to play with. I've done that once though, very hot, don't touch it. Whew. Just fan myself with it. Now it's time for our eggs. Eggs are not all the same size. They're not all created equal. All eggs are great unless they're bad eggs. Don't be a bad egg. So you only want to add your eggs one at a time so you can get the consistency you want. So you might not use all of them. You don't want it to be too liquidy. You might need more, and I'll show you the consistency that we're going for. This is when the sound gets weird. So using the right number of eggs is important because the eggs help with the structure and it also gets that really nice crisp outer shell with that crunch, which is what you want. We don't want it to be like soft and soggy. And when you break into them, they're really light and airy on the inside. They've got like lots of pockets of air. If like a fairy princess was a dessert, it'd probably be made of choux pastry. Like, I don't know, they're like cute, you know? And like floofy, but also crispy. So we're looking for a glossy texture that's kind of smooth. My arms are really tired. It could be like a witch's cauldron. Spooky. I think this is gonna be my last egg. So the number of eggs isn't necessarily super important in this recipe because there's small eggs, medium eggs, large eggs, extra large eggs. So it's more important to look for the right consistency. And you can start to see it's looking more glossy and shiny, like you want your hair to look in like a shampoo commercial. That's what you want this to look like. It's pulling away from the sides. This is how you know it's done. This is my piping bag. It's fitted with a round attachment. I've also done this before with just plastic bags, but this is a little more professional and pretty, and I'm all about the aesthetic. The round one, you can make all the shapes. You can make big eclairs, small eclairs, petite eclairs. My French was fantastic. No, it's not. So we're gonna fill it. Oh yeah, nice and sticky. It's all very technical. So I'm gonna be using this one dough to make 3 different kinds of pastry. I'm gonna do eclairs, I'm gonna do little cream puffs, and big kahuna, big boy cream puffs. So let's start with the little ones. For this, I just keep my piping bag, like, I don't know, an inch, a little less than an inch, around an inch. However, this much height. I don't move it, and I squeeze from the top and pull up. It's okay if you get that little tail. And that's what the water's for. And you squish it down. Crush its little dreams of being tall. You're gonna be short forever. I probably shouldn't say that because I'm tall and that sounds mean, sorry. These little ones are actually gonna be stacked on top of the bigger ones, which are called profiteroles. And once you stack the little one on top of the big one, it makes a snowman, which in French, the term is, what was it? Religious. 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 I can't speak French. We'll call them snowmen. So I'm gonna do 5 of these little guys. Let's go on to my big boys. Big boys, profiteroles. I can say that one, though I'm probably not saying it pretty, but. So you want these to be as uniform in size as you can. You want them to bake at the same rate, so try your best. If you don't succeed, it's okay. Some will burn. Now I'm gonna go on to the eclairs. So for this, it's just an even little line, and we smooth it out. It's kind of like a little worm, like a cute little wormy. Also kind of look like a peep if you don't smooth it. Also, does anyone like peeps? No. You can bake these off and freeze them, which is great because it requires a bit of effort. So if you don't want to eat them all at once, you don't have to. Plus, like, freezer desserts make you really popular. You're like, do you want cookies? They're in my freezer. So now I'm going to put these in a 400-degree oven and bake them for just 10 minutes. That's going to help them rise and puff up. But then I'm gonna turn the oven down to 325 and bake for 30 to 35 minutes until they're golden brown. And that's to dry out the inside, so it keeps them staying puffed up. If you don't let them do that, they're just gonna be like sad and floppy. And you don't want sad, floppy puffs, because that's not puffy, it's floppy. And they don't call them cream flops. So they're out of the oven. You can tell that they're done, A, because they're nice and puffy, but also they're like hollow on the inside. We want that air. And now we are going to decorate and fill them. So we'll start with the cream puffs. I've got a knife here, but also you can kind of tell where it's like breaking apart a little bit. You can just insert your knife gently around there, and we're gonna take its tap off. You can see, nice and hollow. There's like room. It has like a little pocket for your whatever you want to put in it. We're gonna be using pastry cream. You can use pudding, you can use whipped cream, you can use chocolate, custard, corn chowder. Don't do that, that's gross. Now I'm going to dip the top into the chocolate, mix it up, just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my pastry cream, pipe in here, get all the nooks and crannies. Gonna place this one gently back on top. And then before it sets, add some like decoration. You can do some cute little sprinkles. Oh my gosh, so cute. Sparkly one. Oh my God, you're so cute. And these are like raspberry chocolate. No, don't do the too much. Don't be too much. Don't be too much. Oh my gosh. I really love the color pink too. It's just so cute. Now I'm gonna move on to the eclairs. So for this one, we're actually going to pipe it, the filling in a little bit differently. So this is the bottom. You can see it, it's just the bottom. I'm gonna take a knife and I'm gonna kind of pierce it and just like twist it to make like a little hole, and then another one. So we just want the holes to basically be big enough to fit the pastry tip. You can like force it a little bit. And you can tell that it's done when you like lift it out and you can see, oh, look, it's all the way in there. You can also kind of feel it like getting thick on the inside. Yeah. Now I'm going to dip the top side. I'm gonna add a raspberry, and then I'm also gonna use the buttercream. You can really decorate them however you want. Do you want a sparkly? I'll give you a sparkly. Oh, it's so cute. I think I'm doing a really good job. So now we're moving on to the fréquissants, the little snowman ones. We're just gonna call them that. For this one, we're gonna need a big boy and a small little boy, or small little girl. Big girl, little boy. We've got puffs. This is basically just stacked a little one on top of a big one. So like the eclairs, we're going to pierce a hole in the bottom of the big boy, pull them up. You can actually feel like when it gets heavier. Now we're going to dip it, and the same thing with the little one, fill it, dip this one, and then to adhere them, because we're making a snowman, we're gonna use the buttercream. So the buttercream is acting as our glue or our spackle to assemble our snowman. Look at him. I wanna give him a face. I feel like that's not very French. What if I gave him a mustache? That's not French either. I didn't see a lot of mustaches in France. Let's do like little dots of this buttercream, like a crown. My snowman is gonna melt at Coachella with its flower crown. It's looking a little weird, but it's fine. Let's do some pink sprinkles in the middle. I mean, it's definitely less cute than the others, but it's bigger. Oh, stay. He kind of looks like Wally, doesn't he? No, it's just the shape, but I will name you Wally with your crown. So all of our pastries are done. I feel like a French pastry chef. It's a terrible French accent. I need to get better at that. As you can see, we made so many different kinds, and choux pastry dough is incredibly versatile. You can make eclairs, cream puffs, whatever we're calling these snowman things. The things that I would remember when making choux pastry is you really want to make sure that your dough is the right consistency. It's not so much about the number of eggs that it's listed in the recipe, it's more about the consistency and having it be shiny, pulling away from the sides, and that really nice glossy look to it. And then keep in mind baking, you do want to stick with the high temperature to low temperature, because it puffs them up, and then dropping it down makes them dry and hollow on the inside, so we have room for all of our delicious fillings. And speaking of fillings, great segue, Meghan. You can really use whatever fillings and decorations that you want. If you're not into pastry cream, you can use whipped cream. If you really love buttercream, you can do buttercream, some jams, puddings, custards. And then you can dip it in chocolate or you could not dip it in chocolate. The world is your oyster. The world is your cream puff. So I hope you guys try this at home, and I'll see you guys next time.